I walked into the house and found my entire sitting on the living room sofa, my husband, my mother, my son, and my own sister. "What's going on?" I asked, feeling a strange panic rising. "Mum, sit down," my son said. "You need to accept a new reality. You're no longer the one who leads this family." "Aunt Brina, she makes Dad happier now." My stomach twisted with rage. They all knew. Without saying a single word, I walked out of the room. The next morning, I saw 118 missed calls on my phone. "Hello everyone, thanks for joining me today. Before I begin the story, tell me, from which city are you watching? Drop it in the comments. Now let me take you fully into this story." That night, the air outside Atlanta Hartsfield-Jackson Airport was sharp as a blade, the kind of cold that cuts through your coat and sinks into your bones. I had just landed after 3 exhausting days in New York. 3 days spent saving an important business deal my husband Mark had almost destroyed with his ego. I was drained. My eyes burned from lack of sleep, and my shoulders ached from carrying my laptop bag. All I wanted was a hot shower, a glass of wine, and the peace of my own home. I was ready to tell Mark that I had fixed his mess, that the real estate business we built over 22 years was safe for another quarter. I drove into the driveway of our Buckhead home. The living room lights were on, glowing across the dark, snow-covered lawn. Normally, after 10 p.m., the house was quiet. Mark in his study, and my 21-year-old son Jerem in his room playing games or hanging out with friends. I opened the door and dropped my keys in the bowl. But the silence wasn't peaceful. It was heavy, thick, like the air before a storm. "Mark, Jerem, I'm home." "Sonia, we're in the living room," my mother's voice called out. My stomach tightened. My mother lived 40 minutes away. Why was she here on a Tuesday night? A cold fear spread through me. Had something happened to Brina? Was someone sick? I rushed to the living room, and my heart began to burn. It wasn't a medical emergency. It looked like a tribunal. Everyone was arranged neatly on the sofa, the same sofa I picked last Christmas. Mark was in the center, wearing a crisp white shirt, but he wouldn't look at me. To his left, my mother sat stiffly, hands clasped tight. To his right, Brina, my younger sister. And in the armchair beside them, Jeremiah. As I stepped forward, Jerem stood up. He didn't hug me. He stood like he was guarding the exit. There was no trace of the warmth I had poured into him for 20 years. "Mum, sit," he said. "You'll listen now. Don't create a scene. You need to accept that from now on, you're not the head of this family." I turned to Mark. "Mark, why aren't you saying anything?" He finally met my eyes, the same handsome face we used on our company's marketing, today filled with irritation and pity. "It's over, Sonia," he said. "This drama is done." "What drama?" I felt like the ground beneath me was giving way. "Aunt Brina," Jerem said. "She actually makes Dad happy. You don't understand him. The world froze. Brina, the sister whose rent I paid for 6 years, whom I gave a job when no one else would, and now she sat comfortably in a silk blouse, just watching me break." Mark's hand rested naturally on her knee, like it belonged there. My mother spoke next. "We didn't want you hearing this from outsiders. We're telling you as a family. Be realistic, Sonia. Mark is a man. He has needs. He needs a wife who's present, not someone who sleeps with a laptop on her chest." "Mum," I whispered. The betrayal was deeper than any knife. "You're supporting this." "I support happiness," she said calmly. "Brina and Mark love each other. It wasn't planned. These things happen. We can't blame them." Brina gave a small, triumphant smile. She tucked her hair behind her ear. And that's when I saw it. A diamond ring. My ring. The one Mark gave me for our 20th anniversary. The one that mysteriously disappeared from my jewelry box 6 months ago. I had searched the entire house crying days. Mark told me I probably lost it at the gym. "That's my ring," I said, my throat burning. "It looks better on her," Mark replied. "It was wasted on you. You never wear jewelry anyway. You need to leave the house, Jerem said firmly. Dad will stay here. I'll live here too. You cause too much tension. My son, the boy I held on feverish nights, whose college I paid for working 80-hour weeks. He was telling me to leave my own home. You're choosing them, I asked quietly. You're choosing the woman sleeping with your father. She's not just an aunt anymore, he shouted. She actually listens to me. You only give money and tell me to study. Dad and Brina treat me like an adult. I looked at all four of them, my husband, my sister, my mother, my son. The four pillars of my life, every single one rotten from the inside. They weren't just breaking my heart, they were destroying my existence. I felt the nausea rising, but I swallowed it. I would not cry, I would not scream, I would not beg. I stood tall. I held Mark's gaze until he looked away. You think you've won, I said softly, my voice calm but terrifyingly steady. You think you can rewrite history, twist the truth to justify your selfishness. Don't start drama, Brina said. Let's handle the divorce like adults. Divorce? A dry laugh escaped me. Oh, you have no idea what's coming. Don't threaten us, she snapped.